Hey, Gluten Free Badass, how are you? I'm so excited we're together tonight. There's so much to discuss. All right, so one of the holy grails, I think, of gluten-free cooking is pizza. And we all love it so much, and it is so hard to find a crust that isn't limp, soggy, and tastes like styrofoam. So what we're gonna do tonight together is we are going to use some very special tools and some tricks so that we can make a gluten-free pizza crust that we really crave and want. And it is gonna be the base for an updated barbecue chicken pizza. We're gonna take all the traditional parts of that we really like, and we're gonna add a few extra ingredients to it to make it extra special. All right, so let's get started. If you have questions along the way, please let me know. I'd love to answer questions. And we're gonna begin. All right, as usual, we're going to start with a variety of flours and starches. What we have here is sorghum flour because it's nice and mellow, but again, gives us that whole grain structure. We're gonna do our sweet rice flour. Hi, Allie, how are you? I'm glad that it sounds yum. I'm super excited. And we're also having cornstarch, okay? Because again, we're not gonna use xanthan gum in this because we do not want a crust that is gummy. And we don't want a crust that's gonna upset our stomach as well. So we're using a bunch of starches to really help make up for that. So we're gonna put that into our mixer. Woohoo, that was a lot of fun. With all our thing. Oh my gosh, can we talk for a moment why we're making this today? Because today, and I'm not making this up, is National Drink Beer and Eat Pizza Day. Okay. I don't know who comes up with these awesome ideas, but I'm all for it. All right, we want some yeast. All right, so we're gonna put our yeast in there. And we also want a little bit of sugar, because we have our yeast, and some salt, because that always makes things better, and some psyllium husks, again, to help to kind of bring everything together and stick together. Now the key thing here is we want to stir all of this up and move all these ingredients around. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And how you know it's been mixed up enough is that it's kind of all one color instead of like 5 different colors. So that's a good judgment so that you know whether it's done or not. Oh my gosh, so while we're doing this, let's talk about what other sort of national days we would like to see besides drink beer and eat pizza. Oh, and Sarah, oh yes, I agree, Sarah. So what kind of fun holidays would you like to see? Mine would be Maureen gets to date Chris Pine Day, is part of that we get to do every year. Or, I was thinking about this, before we do that, here's our canola oil. Now, a lot of times in pizza crust, people will use olive oil. It's too strong. The other flours are just too mellow in flavor to put up with that. And then you're gonna add an egg. I think we should also have Gluten Free Badasses win the lottery National Day, because that'd be nice every year too. Thank you, Allie. I know you appreciate Chris Pine as well. So what days do you wanna see? All right, so first what we're gonna do is we're just gonna mix this up. And what's gonna happen is it's just gonna become like little pebbles. We just wanna make sure that egg and that oil is touching everything. So let me show you what it's gonna look like. If we unlock this. Okay, there we go. Oh, let's get our friends off of there. All right, so take a look at this. Nothing, no big deal. We're just putting a little bit of that bit of liquid in. Now we're gonna put our real liquid in. So while this runs, you're gonna put in 6 ounces of hot water. And it's as usual, you put it under the tap, you think, oh, this is hot, but not like, oh my God, I'm scalding. You want that nice balance. So while this runs on medium speed, we are going to put this in. We're just gonna drizzle it in. Excellent, and we're gonna let it stir up for a moment and get all mixed up for us. The thing here is that we want to add enough flour enough water that everything binds together, but not so much that it becomes soggy and limp, right? We want that. And so as you're doing it, you might think to yourself, I wonder, is this too wet? Is it not wet enough? So I'm going to show you right now. And again, even just depending on the humidity of the day, those sorts of things, can change how much you want to put in. And so when I look at this, it's got, it's really got a lot of form and substance to it. I'll be honest with you, that's a touch too thick. So let's put in just a tiny bit more water. We actually want it what I would say is kind of, it needs to still have a little bit of movement. So when it touches, so when it comes, so here, like this isn't it's barely sticking onto this at all. You want it to have where it still has some little bit of viscosity to it, and it kind of just slumps off your paddle. Let's give that just a moment. Still not slumping. Hold on. All right, a little bit more. And that's why you can just adjust. All right. So as we're thinking ahead, it's October right now, and we're thinking ahead to November. I'd love to do a number of episodes that have to do with Thanksgiving. So what sort of Thanksgiving dishes do you want to see gluten-free and, of course, easy and delicious for your family? And I will do my best to provide that. All right, so we've got this wonderful dough. So let's take a look at this. It's got some form, but you can see it's not really sticking too much to me. This is a good thing. And we're just gonna put a little towel over it and let it sit for an hour. All right, and magically, we happen to have some ready to work with. All right, so what we're gonna do is just take a big sheet of parchment paper, all right, and you're gonna need your handy dandy canola oil spray, and you're actually gonna spray the whole thing. Just lightly spray it, because we don't want it sticking right to everything. And you're gonna take, so the recipe makes 3 pizzas, usually about 10 inches wide, and you're gonna take about 1/3 of it, and you're gonna put it just over here on the right-hand side of your paper, and we're gonna kind of just put it together a little bit. And so now it has it on the canola oil on the bottom and the top. And you're gonna take your rolling pin, and you're just gonna roll it out. And it does not need to be perfectly, circular. It just, because then it looks kind of rustic and delicious and really homemade if it's not. And that's what we want. So we're just gonna do that. All right, so I was interested to find out that pizza was, as you might imagine, made in Italy. First started in the 1700s, but actually it was made in Naples. Naples, before it became part of Italy, was actually its own country. It was just surrounded by Italians. So I'm assuming there was some good Italian influence there. And they had a lot of working class people who had to go to work and needed a quick lunch or a quick dinner as they took a quick break. And they would go outside and there would be stands, people making pizza, because it was cheap and delicious and easy. So kind of no different than what we do when we go out and try to find the food truck. It was the early days of that. All right, so can you see this? I think you can. So we have this really nice, very thin crust. That's a key aspect here. We need it thin, all right? And here's another important thing. So the big deal here is you want to preheat your oven to 525 degrees. There is not much I would recommend that you want to cook at 525 degrees, but you do want to do your gluten-free pizza crust at that. And you want this wonderful mesh pizza pan. There's ones that have holes in it. I mean, mesh basically is almost all holes, because what we want to do is blast that crust with a ton of heat. And this really allows it to get in there and do that. So we, again, don't want it to stick to our wonderful pizza. So we're just gonna spray it. Take that sprayed side, put it down. We're gonna fold this back over, right, so it's easy. And then we're just gonna pick this all up and let it fall. Because that extra little oomph there helps it, and it's gonna help it come off the paper. Now, this isn't gonna be the most perfect process in the world, and it's okay. When you're trying to take like a label off of something and you don't want it to rip halfway through, this is the same thing. So we're just gonna take this off. Unless you made it too thin, then it might really like to stick on you. But we're gonna get there. So while I'm doing this and getting it off, let's talk about why I'm wearing this fabulous outfit, shall we? This dress, I think, particularly shows off my new necklace that I got for my birthday last week from one of my good friends, Kelly, who's also an avid watcher. And it says on it, badass. So thank you, Kelly, for such a lovely, generous, and fun gift. All right, so look at this, my friends. Isn't it wonderful? I made this like 10 times and it, totally stuck. It totally unstuck. But here we are together and it's sticking like heck. So you know what we're gonna do? We're starting over. This is not good. All right, hold on. What we're gonna do here we go, is we're gonna make it again. Give me a quick second, okay, to get another piece of parchment paper. And here we go, very exciting. Okay. So we are going to learn from my little mistake there, which is I made it too thin. I like thin crust, but not that thin. And we're gonna really put some good oil on here. And this is why we have extra. So the gist of it is don't make it so thin, okay? And And so I'm just gonna say, just do it over. You can always take that off and put it all back together and roll it out again. No big whoop. All right, so then you're gonna cook it for 6 minutes in your 525 degree oven, okay? And when it comes out, here it is. Now look at this. It's got some good firmness. You can hear the crispiness, right? And it's kind of got these nice rustic edges to it. And if you want, just eat them like it's a nice little cracker. In fact, I'm thinking about making these into crackers. All right, so one of the secrets of gluten-free pizza is you do not want sauce that's very thick. Again, we do not want that liquid sinking into it. All right, so that's one of the reasons why we're making barbecue pizza. In a future episode, we will make our own homemade tomato sauce. It's nice and thick and savory, but also is perfect for this crust. If you have a favorite pizza sauce right now that you want to use, just drain it in a sieve. Just let some of that extra liquid come out and you'll be fine. All right, so we're gonna start with our wonderful barbecue sauce. Sweet Baby Ray's is always a gluten-free option for us, as well as I'm using kind of the French's brand Kansas City barbecue, which we had at the festivals the last couple weekends, and those were well received. Take some chicken. I usually just use leftover roasted chicken because it's otherwise really boring unless you jazz it up somehow. And you put that on. Then, again, right now we're still sticking kind of with the classic flavors. We are going to use our Kojak cheese, and we're going to put that on. And put as much or as little as you like. Being a good Wisconsinite, I love my cheese, so I'm gonna put a touch on. Now, after you take the pizza crust out of the oven, you just need like 5 minutes for it to cool. And then you're gonna turn your oven down to 400 degrees. And then once you cook this again, you're just gonna cook it for about, 5-6 minutes. And when you're lowering the temperature, you make sure that these brown crusts are not becoming black. So they still kind of stay very happy and crunchy for you. Then, when you take it out, this is where we're gonna start getting a little special and a little jazzy on it. All right, so here is one that I made this afternoon, and we've got all those ingredients that we just had right there. And one thing that we did, or I wanna show you how to do, is you can make like a quick pickled onion, all right? So you can use white vinegar, and you're gonna put in salt and sugar, and you're gonna stir that up until it dissolves. And then you'll put in some thinly sliced red onion. Now, I love spicy things, but spicy things don't always love me, so that's why I'm using the onion. One thing that you could add instead is like jarred banana peppers, or even like jalapenos. Whatever kind of pepper that you like, because again, that'll help give it some extra flavor and dimension. If you're gonna use the onions, let them sit for an hour. So again, do that while your dough is rising. And here are ones that I already did. And we are going to put those over on our pizza. And now this, for those of you who are in Milwaukee, I bet you're familiar with the pizzeria named Ian's. And when my son was there eating gluten pizza, he had a barbecue pizza that had ranch dressing on it. So that's what we're gonna add too. Of course, we wanna stick with some tradition here. If you like cilantro, you can put that on. If you do not like cilantro, you can always use parsley. But for me, what really makes this whole new updated version sing is this ranch dressing. So you're just gonna drizzle that on. And this is, while it's still warm, it's perfectly fine. And I just see a few other comments. Allie, I know I agree. It is a wonderful, beautiful necklace. And I received everyone a very special birthday gift as well from my sister and brother-in-law, and I'll be wearing that in one of our upcoming holiday episodes. So I'll keep you on the edge of your seats with that. Look at this. Holy moly. Let's take a bite. Oh my gosh. The crunch of the pizza, crust, that mixture, it's an exciting mixture of the barbecue sauce and the ranch with the onions and the chicken and the cheese. My mouth is alive and having a party. I am so happy. Okay, so learn from my efforts here. Make it thin, the crust, but not too thin. And if you happen to, no big deal. Ball it right back up and do it again. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like us. If you want to go over to YouTube and become a subscriber, as well as hit that little notification button. We are well on our way to getting enough followers there and friends so that we can start streaming on there also. If you're making your pizza crust and you have questions before, during, or after it, you can email me at maureen@wickedlywholesome.com. Happy to answer your questions and to help you make pizza crust that everyone in your family will love. All right, meanwhile, I wish you a wonderful week. Please keep being you and never, ever compromise on that. All right, take care, badass.